guys, it's Mara. So today I want to talk a little bit about the MTHFR gene, or when I went to school, the mother effer gene, because that's what it looks like, the abbreviation. Its actual name is methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. So basically what that says it does, it reduces folic acid or folate into the necessary form for your body to use. However, if you have a mutation in this enzyme, it will not effectively be able to convert folic acid into folate. So that's why I'm a big proponent of methylfolate. It's already the converted version, but I'll get into that later. So the gene, there are two known genetic mutations that are at least known to cause the most issues. So the first one is 677. So that's a change from a C to a T. So if you know with DNA, you have different base pairs. So there's C and G and A and T. Okay, so the C gets changed in your DNA to a T, and that's the 677, C677T is what the allele is called. And then for the other one is A1298C, so the A gets changed to a C. So normally it's A and T and C and G, but this is when the A gets changed to a C. Okay. So the first one, I'll just call the first one 677 and 1298 the other one. Now when that gets changed, it can be on both alleles. So a gene is made up of two alleles. It can get changed on one or it can get changed on both of them. So if you coming down from your tree, from your mom and your dad, if your mom could be any combination, she could have one allele, she could have both alleles, or no alleles that are mutated. Your dad could have one, he could have both, or he could have neither one mutated. So you could have each one come down, and based on, genetic Punnett squares, if your parents each are what is considered heterozygous, that means you have one. No, we're just talking about the first gene right now, the 677. Your parents could each be heterozygous. You could end up heterozygous, homozygous, or you could end up with no mutation. Now, when you have both genes, or when you have both alleles in the 677 gene, that is considered homozygous, and that's when a greater percentage of your enzyme does not work. So you can have upwards of about 70% of your enzyme is bad. So if you're heterozygous, so that's just one of your two alleles are messed up, then it's more like 35, so it's about half as much. It works about half as much more than if you had both alleles messed up. Okay, now the same goes for the 1298 gene. However, when both of those come in contact together, you can be homozygous for one, homozygous for the other, homozygous for one, heterozygous for the other, heterozygous for both, or you can have no gene mutations. So personally, I am compound heterozygous, which means I am heterozygous, or I have one allele messed up for both the 677 and the 1298. Now, when I went through medtech school, they told us unless you were homozygous, which means both alleles were messed up on either one of the genes or both, then you didn't really have any issues. But as more and more as I've learned more and more and read more articles, there is a greater issue here than just being homozygous. What the worst, I guess they consider it the worst unless you're homozygous for both of them, which you would probably have a lot of issues if you were. Even being homozygous for one is bad enough. If you're heterozygous for both of them, they consider that being almost as bad or worse than being homozygous for one of the genes, because the compound of those together being mutated, you just have all sorts of issues kind of go together. So me. So a lot of people get this allele, or get their alleles, get their gene, their MTHFR status, if you will, checked if they are having recurrent miscarriages. And that's most of the time when people get it checked, because they're trying to figure out why they're having miscarriages, either them or their spouse, because it's carried down from the dad too. Now, for me, I have not been trying to get pregnant, but my doctor that I used to see and still see sometimes, and I see her nurse practitioner now, they are holistic. She's an OBGYN, so she really pushes that, whether you're thinking about getting pregnant, or if you're just curious, if your family has a history of recurrent miscarriages or heart issues, because all that can be a part of it. So I found out what I was about 2 years ago, and I got my testing through Quest, and it was pretty expensive, but somehow my insurance did not cover it. So if you can go through a provider that you can pay just a cash price, that would be best, because otherwise I think it was upwards of about $400. But some reason Quest never came after me for the money, so I'm not going to remind them because my insurance denied it and said it wasn't necessary testing, but whatever. So a few things that are linked with the mutation in the 677 allele is cardio issues, so heart issues, and an increase in homocysteine, which I did have when I first got it tested. Now I started taking supplements, I started taking methylfolate, I started taking B12, B6, all the B vitamins have to do with the folate cycle as well. And I took TMG, which is trimethylglycine. It's helps lower homocysteine, and it's actually from beets. So beets are good for you. Another symptom, you're more likely to have strokes, you're more likely to have migraines, and you're more likely to have miscarriages. Now this is all with the 677 C to T mutation. So that could be a lot of people, and actually both the heterozygous, when I went and got my testing done, then I had an appointment later, I asked the girls that work there, I said, oh, what are all you guys? And like most of them are compound heterozygous. It's very common. The homozygous, which can be worse for either gene mutation, is higher in Hispanic population, so that's a lot of reasons that they can have increased miscarriages, and folate not being readily available to take as a vitamin. They have folic acid, like we do too, but it's better to take methylfolate, because you can get toxic with folic acid. If your body's not converting it, it's just going to build up and build up. Okay, so with the 1298 A to C mutation, some symptoms of that are fibromyalgia, IBS, fatigue, chronic pain, and mood disorders like schizophrenia and things like that. So that one's more of a like mind and body chronic pain, where the 677 one is more heart and stroke and blood issues. So I know once, if you are trying to get pregnant and you do have one of the genetic mutations, especially the 677 one, it's what's recommended from my doctor. She told me if I was going to try to get pregnant, to start taking a baby aspirin daily, because that would help with the possible of a miscarriage or I guess stroke. Just it's more blood clot issues. But anyway, this is just my little intro video. I am going to make more videos on the exact cycle of how the MTHFR gene works. It's a little complicated. I want to like draw out a chart for you guys so you can kind of understand. But yeah, like I said, I did learn about this going through med tech school, but they really downplayed it, you know, and it's really quite important if you are trying to get pregnant. And could be a reason why you've had a miscarriage, or it could be a reason for your IBS, or could be a reason that you're, you know, more prone to having a stroke, and that's something you kind of need to know. You can't always stop it from happening, but I think knowledge is power. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to check out my other video, I made one on thyroid and Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism. So if you guys want to check out this one, that'd be great. Or subscribe to my channel. I put out videos when I want to. So talk to you guys later. Bye.